right away when I saw it, I fell in love. The students are making films. They don't sit and talk about films. They do hands-on filmmaking. My secret is because I do this movie not because I want to join the film festivals, not because I want to win awards. I want to make this because I love making films. I love the process. I like meeting people. I like working with actors.
Welcome back to Tokyo State of Mind, a podcast that brings you inspiring guests every week to make you feel more motivated, to be hungry, to seize the best opportunities in Japan. Many people in Japan who work full-time find it really hard to do both their job and to pursue their endeavors besides a job, like be it art, sports, or anything of interest. And the guest that is on Tokyo State of Mind today is not an exception. So to give you the best tips on how to keep on doing your art smartly, we have Donie. Hi, Donie.
Hi, hello. Thank you for inviting me here. And yet, I want to say hi to the listeners and viewers. Today, I think it's Mother's Day, so just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all mothers who are listening and watching right now. So
I hope your mother sees that too.
yeah, hopefully she can watch or listen to the replay later. So to the playback, yeah.
This is your first podcast, right?
Yeah, actually, this is my debut podcast. I've done some live streaming online interviews, but podcast, yeah, this is my first.
I can't believe it's your first podcast because you're quite an accomplished filmmaker here. Your film Nena was just featured in the Japanese Indie Film Festival, and you worked with some A-list Hollywood celebrities. How comes your first podcast?
Well, thank you for your kind words. I think I maybe because of my network, I was not really invited to do some. I mean, I was invited in a TV show, for some interviews after we received the award, and then some radio shows, but not really podcast. I also don't know why, but hopefully the other people there who are doing this kind of show, hey, just give me a call and I'll be in your show. Yeah.
I think you have a pretty interesting story of coming to Japan. You spent here already 17 years, so I'm really hoping that you can give tips for the people. But before that, what is your story? What brings you to Japan? And how come you stayed here for long? Because we were just joking with my friends a couple of days ago that there's a very high turnover rate for the foreigners. It's 3-4 years, maybe many people gone. So it's you're either staying here for 3 years or you're staying here forever.
Yeah. It's kind of, yeah, this is a funny thing because my story is kind of similar to that. I didn't really plan to come here. It wasn't really my intention. I know many people are really crazy about Japan. We're talking about 17 years ago. That time I was in the Philippines. I'm from the Philippines, and I was a student, a university student at the time. I was studying fine arts advertising. It's kind of like a mix of fine arts and marketing, kind of. At first, I love to draw. I like arts. However, while I was in college, I realized, slowly realized, it's not really the art that I want to do. And then, of course, when you're not inspired, when you think this is not the dream that you want, you start to lose your focus. And then at that time I was struggling. I was around 18, 19 years old. We're confused. I was confused what to do with my life. And then one time my grades were failing, and of course my mother was she was really mad at me. And I have an aunt. She lives in Shizuoka. So of course, when my mom wasn't happy, she called my aunt, and she complained a lot about me. And then my aunt kind of offered me to to come to Japan to kind of like soul search and take a break, like take a 1 year break. She will enroll me to this Japanese school, for 1 year just to think about my life. So I said like, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it's Japan, right? So it's perfect. So I took a leave of absence in my university. Before I left, we did this project, like an assignment, and this normal PowerPoint. Most of my classmates, they were doing this PowerPoint presentation. I thought was boring, so me and my teammates, we decided to do something different. Like, why don't we shoot a short film? So that's my first short film, and yeah, when we shot that project, I was in love with the process, and then it stuck in my mind. Like, I want to do this forever. I think this is what I want to do, but I don't know how. We didn't have film schools in the Philippines. I mean, 17 years ago, the unlike now, I mean, everyone can do movies. Everybody can film, can edit with using their laptops. I mean, it wasn't the case 17 years ago. So I didn't know how. And then, yeah, we went to Japan. Fast forward, I was in a Nihongo school. I was only planning to stay for 1 year. And then I saw this film school in Tokyo. And yeah, I checked it out. When I checked I was in Shizuoka, and then I asked my aunt if I could just check this film school. I want to see their facilities, and then I visited the school, and right away when I saw it, I fell in love. I mean, yeah, I mean, the students are making films. They don't sit and talk about films. They do hands-on filmmaking. One floor is for post-production. They have a studio. They have like acting dance studio, so actors can do their workshops there. So it's like a film studio, but a school. Yeah, I mean, the kids, the students go there to make films. When I saw the process, I said like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the education that I want. So I called my mom. I told her like, I think I'm gonna stay longer, and then she said like, we don't have money to pay. It's expensive. I said, I think I'll, do part-time jobs. I'll support my own studies, and yeah, and then compared when I was a university student, I was not motivated. I was skipping class because it's not that I'm stupid. It's just like I'm not interested with what I'm learning. That's the reason why. But it's totally opposite in this case because I love what I do. So even if I struggle with my schedule because I have to balance my part-time job and school, like before I skip class, but this time the teachers are begging me to go home because they have to.
What?
Yeah,
That was to that extent.
exactly.
That's
Like,
crazy.
because before, I mean, we didn't have laptops to compared to today. I mean, everybody can edit their movies in their laptops, but before we have to be in a studio to do it. So yeah, and I graduated. So I was hired by this company. It's a production company, but we do not really narrative, not really creative films, but more on like corporate videos. But actually, I use that to pay the bills. They sponsor my visa, and yeah, actually, it's that's actually my source of funding to produce my narrative film projects. So yeah, so that's it. I mean, now it's 17 years, since then. So yeah.
As far as I remember, like you talked how it is hard to get in, like into all those festivals since there is like quite a competition and a lot of filmmakers they only want to work with the more like established people and during Corona, I know that a lot of those gigs they were actually canceled. So how do you think it was possible for you? I know that there's also might be some prejudice towards like Southeast Asian people like in that industry. Or what do you think were your strengths into going to the industry as like a Filipino person?
I think you just need to be more persistent. Again, to be honest with you, for those people who want to pursue this career, I think in any creative field, um, it's not easy. It's gonna be a lot of like heartbreaking moments, like trial and error, and then there will be more. There will be failures. So for me, yeah, because uh, there are many film festivals out there, but at the same time, there are so many filmmakers now. Because as I said, like now it's very easy to make films, so the competition like grew like 3 or 4 times than the way it was like 10 years ago. So yeah, there's a big competition, and again, this is most of these films are really good. So I understand the jurors, they're having a hard time to uh decide. Of course, they cannot really accept every entries. So I think you just need to be persistent, or sometimes you need to study the film festival you're joining if it will fit your project. Like me, I focus more on narrative uh drama, like social issue drama. So I will look for a festival that um fits my story. And yeah, so, and again, you learn from your failures. Like, the first time I joined, I wasn't selected at all, and of course you wonder why, like what's wrong with my, maybe it's me. Like, it's not about you. It's just like maybe the movies that you're making don't fit the categories of doesn't fit the categories of these film festivals. And okay, so next time, if I really want to join film festivals, then I should, aim for a festival that would uh, uh, that make my project eligible to their event. So yeah, I say just be persistent, keep on doing it. And again, my secret is because I do this movie not because I want to join the film festivals. I Not because I want to win awards. I want to make this because I love making films. I love the process. I like meeting people. I like working with actors. I think that's what keeping me persistent. Because yeah, it's not about the festivals. Of course, we need festivals. That's our venue to show our work. But I think if you love what you're doing, regardless of the awards and those film festivals, then I think it will keep you go on.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. And have you watched Tokyo State of Mind?
Who the hell are Tokyo State of Mind?
なんでやねん。見やなあかんやん。なんでそんな見えへんの？ほんまに見てよ。絶対見てや。
What do you think was the most like rewarding moment for your career creating those movies?
Those people that you connect with, for me, um, knowing that they were touched by the story that I made, that is very rewarding. And then for me, working with actors, especially slowly, I am starting to work with some named actors in the Philippines. Before, I was only watching them on televisions and theaters, but now I'm able to talk and work with them, collaborate with them. For me, more than awards, those are more kind of important to me. Like, I became friends, and before I was just watching them, and now they are in my movie, acting the character that I created. So that's really rewarding. um Getting the award is a bonus, but my the satisfaction within me, it's very satisfactory. So yeah.
Also, it feels like that because you are like from the Philippines and you have the access to something that a lot of people will not have to, because like you have the access to your own people, your own country. Um, I feel like you also have this special position to maybe like break down some stereotypes that people might have about your country or and your people, and show them like to be kind of a breach between two of your homes, right?
So yeah, I mean, sometimes, because to be honest, you cannot really avoid the stereotypes, because again, at the end of the day, yeah, that's the information that's been given to them, and I cannot blame them. So what I do is like, there's like pros and cons. I know sometimes it's annoying that they only talk about those stereotypes. Sometimes you use that, and then okay, you give them what they want. You give them more about uh or you make a story about the stereotypes, and after that, when you just use that as stepping stone to be known, and then later on there's actually more, and that's your opportunity to introduce more about the other things, like not just the stereotypes. I mean, the stereotype image of them about where I came from, about the Philippines. Yeah, I can tell them like there's more, so I have more stories to show them. But again, sometimes you just take advantage of it, use it as a stepping stone.
Speaking about the stepping stone, I noticed that on your Facebook, you were talking about having this experience of filming a music video for for a A-lister celebrity. What was it like? I
Well,
definitely
it was funny because again, this was like few years ago. I graduated from a film school, and my co-high, she already graduated. One time I received a call from her, and she said like, "Hey, are you available? To shoot? Because we didn't have a director." So like, when is the shoot? Like the day after tomorrow. It's like, oh my god, like come on. I was about to turn it down, but she said like, what kind of project? It's a music video for I cannot say the name. I almost said it. Yeah, for this singer. And then I googled him, like, oh my god, yeah, he's a big star. And to give you a clue, he came from American Idol. That's where he came from.
Okay.
And then sometimes he does, he I think currently he's doing the front man for this very legendary band. So that's your clue. So yeah, he came here, and then yeah, I mean, he's very popular. He's a big celebrity, and actually I scold my schoolmate like, things like this you should be more prepared. But again, it was him who wants to. He's on tour actually. He's doing like 3 shows in Japan. So while he's here, he wants to do the music video here. I said, okay, so yeah, it was really rushed because we didn't have time to prepare. I assembled my team, and again, normally they will turn down on that, but when they found out like it's this guy, they okay, yes, let's do it. I remember my DP, my cinematographer. I pitched him the project, and then because he is scheduled to take out his kids on that day. So one of his he said like he will do it, but his condition is like he had to take his kids
on the set.
Yeah. And yeah, so they were like allowed to be there. Yeah, unfortunately, because the manager talked to us after we shot it. Don't know how I didn't know how we survived that. But after the shoot the next day, the manager told us like, to be honest with you, that artist's idea, it was his idea. It was not really the team's idea, but we don't know what to do with it. But that song is like the album. The title of the album is the same as the title of the song. So yeah, they said like, we'll let you know, but we have to sign this contract that we're not allowed to talk about it. We're not allowed to post it on Facebook. And it's
so much secrecy.
Exactly. And and again, they are big stars, so unfortunately we didn't get paid. They didn't pay us. Yeah, we didn't they didn't pay us. Yeah, we did it for love. I regret that. Again, we were desperate, of course, is to work with this big star. We thought like it could help our portfolio, but again, I couldn't use it. So at the end of the day, it didn't really help my career. I mean, the experience of working, directing an A-list celebrity, that's actually the only reward I got from that, because okay, I can do it. I can talk to him. I can explain him what he needs to do, and yeah, that confidence that made me realize like I think I can handle.
I see. Wow, but like the idea that, I mean, what always amazes me about Tokyo is that this is a place that definitely attracts like a lot of like really interesting and successful people, and you never know like with whom you get a chance like to work together, and like from whom you can get inspired. Like even the Olympics thing, so many students got the chance to participate and like to see all these athletes right in front of them. I think it's just such a cool place, like Tokyo in general, just so cool place to be, exactly for the stories like yours.
Yeah, I think definitely, I think Tokyo is really, it's very popular, right? I mean, globally. One thing I like about it is like, yeah, you can pursue uh arts, again, in business, no matter like what kind of uh um industry are you in. Yeah, Tokyo is always like, one of the uh primary places, to pursue. Of course there are some challenges too. So, but yeah, it's a cool place to be, especially if you're pursuing, creatives. So yeah.
What do you think like are the main lessons that you've learned like by pursuing your dream and trying to also, as I mentioned before, you're doing your corporate job, right? And at the same time you're also trying to put your films out on the how were you able to do that?
Um, this because yeah, as I said, like filmmaking is yeah, it's a very challenging industry, or being a filmmaker is really tough. Um, yeah, I'm also being practical, because again, you need to pay the bills. Sometimes if you just pursue filmmaking, to be honest, like it's not really enough to, uh uh to fund my, my lifestyle, because I know some people who, many people are telling me, why don't you work in a movie company, so you start as an assistant director, and and again, I mean, my aim is to become a director. I mean, I know that sense of hierarchy. um However, yeah, even though I'm working for a non production a company, I mean, not a movie company, but this job helped me fund my films, and become a, a director. And sometimes it's actually good for me, because there are different kinds of directors. There are just the directors, there are writer directors, there are actor directors. I'm more of like a writer director. And I think for directors only, they just receive material from a writer, and they can just let's do it. But for me, sometimes I need to stay away from the set, because I need to get my inspiration. And like any artist, like for example, like a painter, you don't get your inspiration in front of the canvas, right? Like that is where you put your your artwork. But you get your inspiration outside, so same thing with the day job. I don't think it's a it's a bad thing, because sometimes it's good to be with the normal people, like the outside the creative world, like when you are in the normal community, like, You take the train, you work with, salaryman OL, you go to the convenience store, you eat lunch, you walk outside. This is where you get your inspiration.
This is so true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you observe people. That is, I mean, when we filmmakers, that is where we get our inspiration. We make characters based on real people. So I think that's actually one of the good things that my day job is providing me, is giving me. My it's still kind of relevant to what I do. We support, we make corporate videos. We still shoot, we organize events, we meet different kinds of people. Um, and at the same time, what I learned from the corporations, how to do the deal, the business side, the financial side. Sometimes you learn from them, and you can apply that on your art. Because again, we cannot just be artists. We need
Yeah.
to promote our work. We need to sell our product, and then that will make us, sustain our uh creativity, right? So but mainly, yeah, I realized that I need to be away from the film, just to be away from the filmmaking community, just focusing on the set. Because again, I need to get inspiration, and that's where I get my inspiration, to the normal, the community around me. So yeah, yeah, I think.
When you are out there, it's not just inspiration. Sometimes you get the right anger, right, to fuel you. It's like, okay, I really don't like this corporate thing, but all this anger, let me put into my work. And so this is how the things get done sometimes.
For me, it's like, yeah, as long as I have time to daydream and write. Because I think this is my second client. I was assigned before, when after graduation, I was assigned to this Swiss bank. So we were doing all the media services in this bank. And then first, the job was like not really complicated. And then, oh, we want to do they wanted to enhance their production, services. They want to do more production. And I was excited, like, okay, this is great, because we're gonna film, edit, and I was the only one who's doing it. And then that became like a like daily basis. I was directing, editing corporate videos, like making titles. And it became toxic, because I was doing that every day, and I thought it was exciting. And so when you go home, the last thing you want to do is to edit. And I lost the time to write, to daydream. Sometimes you need to just sit and think,
Do nothing.
do nothing, because you need to daydream. I think many writers would maybe relate. But when I moved to a new client, actually my manager, the account manager, he was a little bit worried, like, oh, you will do less production here. It's more of like an office job, like you were just kind of like manage the team. And I said, like, actually that's better, because I'm only answering emails, I'm just giving advice, like consultations. But I can leave on time, I'm not tired, so I have enough time at night to write and conceptualize some stories. So as long as I have time for that, then I'm okay. So yeah.
I see. I think if you have your main job that is like highly creative and artistic, and then your hobby is also something highly creative and artistic, it's kind of hard, like, because you don't feel the balance. It's just if you also do it like for some other people and you totally hate it, and then you come home, there's nothing left for yourself, right? Yeah. I think that's pretty much hard to like manage for most of the people. So looking back at all your experiences that you had in Japan with filmmaking and everything else, what do you think, like, if you look back and talk to a younger version of yourself, what would be your like biggest advices for keeping creating your art here?
um Again, I think I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Again, this industry is hard, but again, you need to fail. You need to experience these challenges because it will make you sharper. You make you wiser. So just do what you want to do. You know what you always follow your instincts. And again, um, yeah. If you want to make films, don't expect that your first project will be the Academy Award. No, I mean it's not going to be like that. It will take a while. I mean, after I finally won an award, it took me like what seven short films until finally I got an award. It's not about that. I think it's about the people that you will meet. Yeah, you could maybe this year this project is not not the one for me, but just hang on, just keep on doing it, and you will uh, be connected with the right team. That's all you need. You need to just keep on doing it, and you have to expand your connection. That's important, because that's one thing I love about filmmaking. You work with other artists. You work with cameraman, you work with actors, makeup artists. These are all artists, and you just keep on doing that. And one of the best things about filmmaking is like you're not just stuck in one team. You can move to another project with another team, and then someday you can actually combine all of them together, and then you're starting to, even though if the project didn't work now, don't worry, because again, what you earned is like you have this group of people. You earned a team that will work for you in the future, and then when all of your skills um improve all together, someday the project someday will be good. So again, just keep on doing it. Of course there will be times that you will fail, and it's okay to take a break. And it's totally acceptable to stay out of the creative process for a while, and recharge. But if you are really born to do this, it will always pull you back. So that's the thing. I cannot stop. There's so many times that I said I'm gonna quit. This is not for me, but it always keeps
Coming.
bringing me back, pulling me back. And I just fell in love with this world. So this is this filmmaking process.
Yeah, thank you. That was very beautifully said, and I definitely can relate to that, because podcast for me is the same thing. It's like it can get like, as you said, tiring and everything, but then I just love it, like sharing all this information with all these people, hoping that what we are sharing, what we're talking about, is gonna reach them and help them in the way that they will fail smarter at least than their senpais. It's like you don't want people to fail the same way as you did, right? You want things to improve, because that's the idea of like the senpai thing. And if you come to Japan, the senpai culture just like comes to you.
Luckily, in Japan, there's a the expat community of filmmakers. Like we are more lenient, I think. So again, if you, it's sometimes it's alienating to be in a to be in that process, the hierarchy, because again, yeah, you're not allowed to speak up. You start from the bottom, and then there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes that is good, but I understand, like I'm a director, I want to direct. It's not about going up. It's just like that's what I want to do. It's different from assistant directing. It's different from lighting. No, we are directors. We need to direct. But the good thing about Japan, there's a community, like the international community, where you can actually make your connection, and you can be a director. You can work with other people, and yeah, who doesn't really follow that uh, hierarchy thing. So
What is more like flatter
yeah.
communication?
Mm. So yeah, again, it's a tough thing to pursue, but again, uh some challenges will just make you better. Again, imagine if you overcome all these problems. I mean, whatever they throw someday in the future, you can just endure whatever they throw on you. So yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing all this wonderful insights. We definitely hope to see more people be able not just to constantly work in Japan, but to pursue their passions just like you do. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Please let us know what you thought about that in the feedback. Please check out Donie's works. We're going to put the links under this video. We hope that you can keep on learning, keep on growing, keep on coming to our podcast. And if you have any guests that you want us to invite, please let us know about this as well. Thank you so much again for watching, and we're gonna see you next week on Tokyo State of Mind. Bye bye.
Bye.